Denji's worst nightmare is here. He's going to die a virgin. Okay, but seriously, Chainsaw Man has just dropped a huge bombshell, revealing one of the most powerful devils we have ever seen. Oh my god! Wait, no, wait. This devil alone has flipped the entire world of Chainsaw Man, quite literally. But first, let's rewind, because to understand how this devil changes the course of the series forever, we must go back to Yoshida confronting the Famine Devil, one of the 4 horsemen who, ironically, orders everything on the menu.
There's a book in there on how to eat healthy. Why don't you take that, you fat b****?
The reason for this sudden meeting between the two is to understand a rumor going around town labeled the Prophecies of Nostradamus. It states, in the 7th month of 1999, a great king of terror will descend, predicting the end of humanity. Yoshida claims that amongst the general public, the prophecy is seen as nothing but sensationalized news and television, something which actually happened in the real world. This article from The Guardian in 1999, for example, highlights how the prophecies of Nostradamus were a huge talking point in Japan, a bit like how using code ABD can get yourself 10% off gamer subs. However, Fujimoto takes this one step further in Chainsaw Man, as Yoshida reveals that the Public Safety Division believes there's truth to the rumors being spread.
No way!
In an experiment, they had 30 convicts make contracts with the future devil on the condition of their release, and upon being asked when their death would occur, the future devil revealed that 23 out of the 30 would die on the 7th month of 1999, whereas the remaining 7 all die this week. It's here that Fami, believed to be involved in the end of the world prophecy by Yoshida, announces that 40 seconds ago a primal fear appeared. That devil is none other than the Falling Devil, one of the first devils that will bring ultimate terror upon the world. She reveals that she's been sent at a request of the residents of Hell. Now, why would Hell want to destroy the world? Well, it may not be the world per se they want gone. This is because destroying the world, and in doing so humanity, would permanently weaken the devils indefinitely. Remember that devils draw their power from feeding on the fear humans have for their respective concepts. As Makima states in chapter 6, a coffee devil wouldn't be very powerful, whereas the fear of being run over is rampant within society, therefore a car devil would be very strong. But do you know what I fear? You not hitting the like button and notification bell to enjoy our content. Do it. So what could Hell really be targeting? It's none other than the hero of Hell himself, the devil that all devils fear the most, Chainsaw Man. And what better way to kick off the end of the world than sending a primal fear that will invoke all of his trauma. As we can see from chapter 123, the lower your heart sinks, the higher you will fall, in which we see one man literally being sent to Hell's door to be cooked and eaten by them. This is the devil that will prove to be Denji's ultimate nightmare, possibly even resulting in him breaking his contract with Pochita once again, unleashing the true Chainsaw Man within. Asa finds herself confronted by it and is prepared to fight. However, she is quickly overcome with the urge that she cannot win no matter what. Why? Well, this is because Asa always falls at the worst moment possible. She tripped and killed the class chicken devil Bucky, she tripped and got her own mother killed, let's not forget when fleeing from the Bat Devil as well, and even in the aquarium she fell and broke the only cell phone they had. Listen, it's one of the many reasons why we love her. She is just that useless.
Emotional damage.
Now, whilst Asa runs for her life, Yoru tells her to snap out of it, as the Falling Devil is drawing out her negative feelings. But this has no effect, as Asa quite literally lets her cook. The Falling Devil prepares her appetizer, forcing everyone to remember their past trauma. In Asa's case, she's plunged into the memory of losing a family member, albeit a makeshift one, that being Crambon the cat. This is the same cat Asa saved, sadly at the cost of her mother's life, which is why she had a deep and complex emotional attachment to it. However, it turns out that the Falling Devil is not the most evil character in this chapter, because that title belongs to this.
Why you gotta be such a
Just for the reason that Asa was the only one with some sort of family, unlike the other children, this orphanage worker took Crambon the cat, aka Asa's last remaining family member, and drowned it. I mean, no wonder Asa said she would rather kill humans over cats. And to be honest, I can't blame her. I'd do the same. Now on the topic of losses, our boy Denji has lost more than he started with. Makima's plan to break him led him to gain Aki and power as a new, dysfunctional but still family. All of them had nothing and nobody to lose, but soon they became codependent. Aki and Denji started off on the absolute worst terms, finding nothing in common between them. And as for Denji and Power, well, Denji got tricked by her big time and almost lost his life over Power's cat Meowie, all in the name of titties.
You're goddamn right.
There seemed to be no salvage in their dynamic. However, when the three of them were forced to live together, it served to be the exact way for them to get to know each other better. Without even realizing it, they had filled a void in each other's hearts. Aki was like the big brother slash father figure that Denji had always lacked in his life, whilst Power was the first real friend Denji had made. This family made Denji more responsible and mature, including the realization through bonding with Power that not all relationships are sexual. Without even stating it, they all doted on each other in their own ways, all for them to die indirectly by Denji's hand. You see, this right here is why you shouldn't simp. Because Makima wanted Denji to be so comfortable with happiness that when she turned Aki into a monster and killed Power, Denji fell into complete despair, giving up on life. Just like how in Asa's case, the woman from the orphanage was jealous of Asa having a family, which is why she took it away. Makima too found it absurd that Pochita chose Denji as his family instead of her, since the control devil had never been able to create her own family or equal relationships. This is Denji's deepest, most traumatic memory that even has the potential to break him once again. The last time we had Pochita guarding Denji's despair behind a metaphorical door in chapter 38. But when Makima forced him to face it, we learned that Denji had killed his abusive father. Reliving this moment pushed him into the abyss of existential crisis and trauma, making him lose the will to live, thus severing his contract with Pochita. Currently, Pochita's contract with Denji is to show him a normal life and what it means to love. But what will happen when the falling devil's powers are used on Denji? There is a huge chance that he will fall into the trap and regress into Chainsaw Man's true form, since this trauma is even worse than before. Furthermore, the falling devil is the most fearsome antagonist for Denji to face right now, as falling doesn't just mean literal falling. It's clear from chapter 123 that more materialistic concepts such as falling into despair contribute to her power too. And as we know, basically all of Denji's trauma stems from him falling in love, including that first kiss, let's not forget. Denji regressing is further backed up from an interview by Fujimoto 2 years ago. During this, he stated that the most correct way to end a hero story is that the hero should give up being one. We know that throughout Chainsaw Man Part 2, Denji is constantly searching for fame by using his title as Chainsaw Man the Hero. However, by the end, he will have to realize that being a hero is not all it's cracked up to be. And in doing so, he will give it up by agreeing to a deal to save Asa by coughing the nuclear weapons devil back up, ultimately making him a contributor to the end of the world and most definitely losing his title as a beloved hero. This also links back to our analysis from this video where we explained that Pochita's true identity is the primal fear of being the forgotten devil. Denji's fate is to ultimately give up on being a hero and live a life of normality, just like his contract with Pochita suggests. Now, you may be thinking, ABD, what on earth has this got to do with the Nostradamus prophecy, and why are Asa and Yoru involved in it all? Well, with my degree in anime bullshit science, I have figured out that all of this is connected to the end of the world. Remember the 7 convicts meant to die this week that Yoshida mentioned in chapter 122? Well, each of them represent the 7 seals of God from the book of Revelation. What? The Bible describes them as symbols of apocalypse, as with the opening of each seal, a catastrophic event takes place and it literally only gets worse with each one, thus ending in an apocalypse. But what if I told you that this apocalypse is none other than Yoru and Asa? Huh? You heard that right. Now let's go over some facts thanks to Ink Sanity on Reddit. The Roman god of war, amongst other things, was called Mars, and who's the war devil in Chainsaw Man? Yoru. In her introductory chapter, it itself, she states boldly that she will make Chainsaw Man cough up the nuclear weapons, a concept that the world has forgotten because he devoured it. This also severely weakened Yoru by reducing the fear associated with war, as she was beyond broken as one of the four horsemen with the nukes. Losing them only ended war's reign of fear, but where do nukes appear from? They are dropped from the sky, just like the beacons of terror. And if they are revived like Yoru wants, she will become powerful again, even gaining her true form. In fact, she might even give the Gun Devil a run for his money with the kind of destruction and number of casualties that she is sure to cause. Now, these might all seem like random things, but it all makes total sense when we go back to the prophecy. If we take a look at it, we learn that Mars shall reign as chance would have it, meaning that the era of the War Devil will come once again because of the re-emergence of nukes, as stated by the line, "From the sky shall come a great king of terror, shall be revived by the great king of Angolamore." This hints that the devil of nukes is going to rise up again, as we mentioned. In the real world, the myth regarding Nostradamus was that 2/3 of his prophecies have already come true. They're accurate because he had a contract with the devil that told him the future, which is why Chainsaw Man is paralleling it. These predictions included World War II, but also the nuclear bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. His last few predictions that are yet to come true are famine and war, which coincidentally are the two devils in Chainsaw Man that his story is linked to. This is foreshadowed with the fact that the War Devil's introduction literally references resting Mars, who's connected to the Nostradamus prophecy. And of course, this revival will take place when Chainsaw Man vomits the nuclear weapons out, which is quite possible if Denji turns into his true form from the despair he will feel from the falling devil. All of this, including Asa's sad involvement in all of this, is as chance would have it, like the prophecy says. So if Yoru manages to get back to full power and even realizes that Denji is the true Chainsaw Man, the real war will ensue between them. After all, it is clear that all of the devils, especially the horsemen, want my guy dead. However, unfortunately, the world itself is caught up in between this huge kerfuffle, and it will end up suffering the most. Imagine going about your day and someone super powerful decides to just drop nukes so that the enemy dies without any care for the innocents that will die because of it. Oh, wait.